Hey all, welcome to episode 5. I'm a bit under the weather, so I apologize for my voice. I also apologize for not having a normal video today. On top of the fact that I'm under the weather, my server decided to crap out on me, and as such, I lost a lot of the data. I mean, I've got it all backed up and I've got to restore it, but I've got to try to figure out why the drive failed in the first place, because everything seems to be okay with it, but Windows isn't recognizing it, and everything I'm trying to do is just not working, so I'm going to have to do some diagnostics. But anyway, I still wanted to get something up, and it's kind of something that I've been wanting to do for a while anyway. So this is going to be like a mini tour of everything that I have. I'm going to do a more full-featured tour video in the future, going into more detail with everything. Because right now I'm kind of just showing off. Yeah, this is what I got here. This is the games that I've got, etc. I'm not going into too much detail. I'm not, opening up books and things like that. But I, kind of wanted to do this to give me an idea of how the future video should look. And it gave me an opportunity to actually see what I have in my collection. I've amassed a few things over the years, all the game consoles that I ended up keeping over the years. That's impressive enough, but just the past few months since I started doing this channel and decided to get back into retro collecting and gaming, I'm really amazed at what I was able to procure in such a short time. So this will be, not just for you, but for me as well. So I hope you appreciate it as much as I do.
So we're going to start with some of the newer stuff, and I apologize for the shaky cam. So here you can see I have the Nintendo Switch, and behind it is a Wii U gamepad that goes along with the Wii U. I also have PS4 Slim, and I have an Xbox One S. On top here, I have, the PlayStation Classic, NES Classic Edition, Super NES Classic Edition, as well as the Genesis Mini. For the games, here you can see for the Switch, and these are the physical releases that I have. I have several more digital ones, but I've got Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Mega Man X Legacy Collection 1 and 2, Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2, Mega Man 11, Sonic Mania Plus, Ultra Street Fighter 2 The Final Challengers, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Super Mario Odyssey, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, and Super Mario Maker 2. For the Wii U and the Wii, I've got Guitar Hero Live, Arkham City Armored Edition, Rayman Legends, Nintendo Land, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD, New Super Mario Bros. U, Super Mario 3D World, Mario Kart 8, Super Mario Maker, Super Smash Bros. Wii U, and then for the Wii I've got Super Paper Mario, which I really like that game. I know it got a lot of flack, but I liked it, so I got Super Mario Bros. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Mario Kart Wii, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Rock Band 2, Rock Band 3, Lego Rock Band, Green Day Rock Band, Guitar Hero 3, Guitar Hero World Tour, which I think technically was Guitar Hero 4, but I think they also had an official Guitar Hero 4, so it is what it is. Band Hero, and then Wii Sports. Not a whole lot of games for the Xbox One or PS4. Basically just got these just so I can test the systems out because I bought them on eBay. So I've got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Doom, and then for the PS4 I've got Fallout 4. Now I also have some gaming books, although a lot of them are Zelda based, such as Hyrule Historia, Arts and Artifacts, the Encyclopedia, and then I've got Creating a Champion, and then I also have the complete official guide for Breath of the Wild, although this is the one that was re-released for the Champions Ballad, because I also have the original one too. I also have another copy of Legend of Zelda Encyclopedia, but this one comes in what looks like a Nintendo cartridge, and the book is stylized the same as the original Zelda cartridge. So I also have the official guide for Twilight Princess HD, and then when I picked up Link's Awakening, it came with a little art book as well. I also have the official books for the NES and Super NES Classic, and then I also have Final Fantasy Ultimania Archive, which discusses the first six Final Fantasy games. I did not get any other ones because even though I have 7 and 8, I wasn't really huge fans of 8 or any of the newer Final Fantasy games. That's just me, though. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, that's blasphemy. They're great. Awesome that you love it. I don't. So, alright, so that's all the newer stuff. Let's go on to the more classic stuff. Actually, I forgot one more newer item, and that's my 2DS XL, along with several games, including Ocarina of Time 3D, Super Mario 3D Land, Mario Kart DS, New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, and Final Fantasy IV for the DS. And then in here is a Link Between Worlds. So we'll go here, and again, I apologize, I'm going through a bit of a cold. Just a bunch of Sonic stuff piled on with some Genesis stuff. I've got Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I've got the 8-button arcade pad with USB. That's basic for the Genesis Mini, although it also works with the Switch and computers. There's Sonic Mania Plus. I also got the original Sonic Mania, which was a digital download only, but it came with like a Sonic statue on top of a Genesis, so that was kind of cool. I don't have it out right now. I'm still kind of reorganizing my collection here, and I'm probably going to have another one of these videos once I'm actually done organizing everything, because I don't even have everything out yet. So down here we've got the PlayStation Classic box. I've got a Sony PSP 3000 along with Final Fantasy IV complete collection, which contains 2D versions, enhanced 2D versions of Final Fantasy IV, which was 2 in the US on the Super NES, and then there's also the After Years, which was released as a digital mobile game in Japan, and then they released it as a WiiWare title for the Wii. And this particular game also has a follow-up, it's kind of bright, sorry. It has a follow-up. Let me see if I can turn the flash off here. I guess I can't while I'm recording, so be it. It's gonna be hard to see, sorry about that. But it's got a follow-up game that kind of bridges the two games. So, and then I've got Grand Theft Auto, Liberty City Stories. Next, I've got a PS2, and this is my original PS2, so it wasn't like an eBay pickup or an auction or anything. And I don't have a whole lot of PS2 games left. I forgot what I did with most of them, but so for that, I've got Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, Grand Theft Auto 3, which is what Liberty City Stories is kind of a sequel to, and then I also have Vice City. But since the PS2 also plays PS1 games, I'll show those off too. So I've got Final Fantasy Origins, which is Final Fantasy 1 and 2. And by 2, I mean the one that came out in Japan, never came out here. Final Fantasy Chronicles, which is Final Fantasy 4 and Chrono Trigger. And then Anthology, which has Final Fantasy 5, which this was the first official US release of the game. I do remember playing it on emulators back in the late 90s, early 2000s with some fan-made translations. And of course Final Fantasy 6, which is Final Fantasy 3 here in the US. I know earlier I said I didn't play any of the newer Final Fantasies other than 7 and 8. I did pick up 9 because they said it was, back to the crystal. It's supposed to be more of like your traditional Final Fantasy, but I just could never get into it. Ridge Racer Type 4, I did have the original Ridge Racer. I don't know what I did with it though. So, but that's fine because this came with an enhanced version of the original Ridge Racer game as well. And then another Street Fighter collection. Apparently I like Street Fighter, so I do have the controllers and everything for this that's in another box. Down here, box for the Wii and the new 2DS XL, which, moving on to here, and that's a little lower on the shelf, it's hard to get to from where I'm at, but I've got my GameCube and the Wii, along with the Game Boy Player, which lets you play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games on your GameCube. And as far as GameCube games goes, I've got the Sonic Mega Collection, Mega Man Anniversary Collection, which they did really something funky with the button controls here, and it's really tough to play, but it is what it is. Rogue Leader, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Smash Bros. Melee, and then I also have this, which is a promo disc containing 4 classic games, and those games are, again, sorry about the flash here, maybe I can kind of hide it. There we go. Well, kind of. So it's got Zelda 1 and 2. It's got Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on here, and a demo of The Wind Waker. This game only came out. I'm trying to remember how you got a copy of this game. I had a friend that worked at GameStop, and I was able to get it that way, but you had to buy something to get it. I forget exactly what, so I apologize. Here we have the Game Boy Color, which you saw in episode 1, along with a selection of different games. I've got Oracle of Ages, Mega Man, Frogger, A Bug's Life, and Centipede. And then I also have an original DS and the Game Boy Advance. And you can see the games that I've got there for the Advance: Mario Kart Super Circuit, Namco Museum, Metroid Zero Mission, Super Mario Bros. 3, the Link to the Past remake. Let me move this out of the way. And then I also have Final Fantasy IV and Super Mario Advance, which was just a remake of Super Mario 2. I also have Metroid Fusion, although that's currently on loan to a buddy of mine for the past, 10 years. So, again, Super Mario 3D Land Box, Ocarina of Time 3D, Mario Kart DS, Link Between Worlds, New Super Mario Brothers, Final Fantasy IV. So that's that for my portable collection, basically. Up here, the box for NES Classic and the Super NES Classic. Also, the box that came with Twilight Princess HD, along with the Wolf Link Midna amiibo. A couple of Super Mario Brothers rings. These came on some cupcakes, and so I snagged them. The only 3 NES games that I currently own: Iron Sword, Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I also have this little mini Pac-Man arcade game, which is actually just a bunch of gum that I haven't opened. Probably not great gum to begin with, but I thought that was kind of cool. Here I've got both my NES that you saw in episode 4, and I also have a Hyperkin Retron HD, which will let you play your NES games in high def. This will be featured, or was this featured in a September Pickups video? Man, I don't remember anymore. My mind's a little bit of a blur. But it's either in the September Pickups video, which you've already seen, or it'll be in the October one coming out in a couple of weeks or so. Also, I have this little bead star thing that my sister-in-law got me. I forget if it was for Christmas or as part of my birthday gift, but it's a Christmas tree topper, so that's kind of cool. And then I also have the box for the Link's Awakening remake. You'll notice that I have this Hyperkin controller, and then I have a Dogbone controller. Both will work on either console, which is really nice. It comes in really handy. So, moving on, here we have from episode 1, I believe. It was the second episode, technically, because there was an episode 0, but it's the iMac that I refurbished and restored. Here you have the Commodore 64, and then there's the Sega Genesis. Sorry, there's some clips in the way. There's the Sega Genesis from episode 3. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm getting my episodes mixed up. The Genesis was the latest video. The NES was before that. And there's the box of games, along with an actual re-release of the 6-button controller. On the top shelf here, you can't really see it very well, but it's the TI-99 I picked up. And down there is the box for it. What you don't see is the Atari 2600 I picked up because I'm still in the process of refurbishing it. And then the other things you don't see, although I'll try to bring one of those up here a little bit higher up, is I have one of these that I just recently acquired. It's a Mac SE. I'm going to be going through a refurbishing process of this. This will be a future video for sure. I just don't know when. And I also have its previous iteration, the Mac Plus, which came with 1 megabyte of memory and was the longest selling Mac up until the 2011 Mac Pro, which looked like the trash can, or it might have been 2013, I forget. But this was, but the Mac Plus was sold even when this came out, when future versions of the Mac came out, it was a very popular machine because of its affordability, and they re-released it as the Mac Plus ED, which was the education version. It's basically the same thing, but by then the parts have gotten low enough in cost that Apple could sell those for a lot less, to schools that would otherwise probably be buying IBM PCs, which were more affordable at the time. Of course, that ultimately happened anyway because it's just more compatibility there. But this is basically it for now. Again, I've got some things that are on the display, and I need to reorganize some of these shelves. I purchased some additional shelving from a hardware store. I just have to trim them ever so slightly because they're not quite the same width, even though they're being sold as being the same width that these types of shelves take. So again, sorry for it not being like a super awesome technical video, although some of you are probably great that I'm not just going on and on about specs. But this is basically my retro collection as it stands today, and a lot of these items you will see in separate videos in the future, even if I don't refurbish them, such as I might do a video on the PSP. I'll probably do one on the Wii. Maybe I'll do a combo with the Wii and the Wii U, since they're so closely related to each other. And I still have to do one on the Commodore 64. I'm working on that one. I still need to get some extra parts for it. As far as the TI-99, I have to get some more things for that to get that video going. I also have, I don't have it with me right here. It's in another room, and I don't really feel like getting it because, like I said, I have a bit of a head cold and kind of tired. But I have, I bought the Nintendo branded Vans. The ones I have are the NES controller print. Kind of cool. First pair of Vans I've ever owned. So yeah, but this is basically my retro collection and some modern stuff. Slowly but surely growing, just for the sake of it. I've also got a bunch of computer books in the background there, mostly for my job. So I also have some older magazines and guides at the bottom there. Maybe I'll pull those out for the more full-featured collection video. But this is basically it for now. So if you like this, hit the thumbs up. Please feel free to subscribe. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down. But please mention in the comments why you didn't like it, and maybe what I could do to improve these in the future. And that's all. All right, I'll catch you later.